Hello and welcome to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au as we start Groundhog Day and have a look at Rosehill Gardens again, which we were going to do last week, Mike. And was it just going through the motions again, or does the whole betting scene change here?
Well, not the whole scene, but some things do change. We changed our tip for the Golden Slipper, for example.
Good point,
the speed map factor lights up tonight. We weren't playing it last week, so some of the tips have changed, and unfortunately there were some losers, like Mark Newnham's, the colt he had in the Galaxy was drawn the inside, now it's drawn very wide. Yeah,
the old man always said to hang on to your tickets, so I'll have to hang on to a few of those early bets from last week, Mike. But what a week it's been. I mean, the stewards, I think they've played this very well. A long week for everyone in racing.
Yeah, very grey area. What do you do when you delay the races by 7 days? Carnival races, they kept the slipper the same, they've changed the rest. They've done as well as they could, I think.
All right, well, let's have a look at all the conditions now this week, because it's such a great day of racing. We are racing. That is the main thing, and the sun is out this week, Mike.
Well, punters are happy. Better weather, better fields, better betting opportunities. The rail's out 3 metres. It's heavy at the moment. It could get into the soft range, and the bias should be off rail. So a few lanes potentially, but pretty fair overall.
Yeah, interesting to see how this track is going to dry out before Saturday. And well, let's have a look at the card, highlighted by 5 big Group 1s, Mike. We were going to do race 1 and 2 last week, but we've turned around this week.
Well, we just wanted to get some tips in, didn't we, before the weather came in and the race meeting was called off.
True.
But obviously on this day, as we did last year and the year before, I think on Key Factors, we're going to concentrate on the 5 big G1s tonight.
5 Group 1 sounds good to me at Rosehill Gardens this weekend. So let's have a look. And first things off is Ranvet Stakes, race 4, as we have a look at the market here. And who could forget the clash these guys had only a few weeks ago. And as we have a look at the market, it is a Dabe on top. Well, last year, Mike, what a race it was. $2.10 this year. Very elegant, $2.80 on the second line. The same can be said about our Wonder Mare. She's just as good on the wet, one of our best. That's what you see in the race guide, in the profiling. We've got Colette, a new entrant here, $6 on the third line. Welcome to the big stage, winning the Apollo. Loves the wet and can quicken. And then out to Sir Dragonet, $14. Last year's Cox Pate hero. Well, he's looked a little bit out of sorts this preparation, Mike. But Adabe, you've done all your homework. How has he settled in? These are the questions we need to find out.
Well, we need to know that, and I guess we'll know in the yard on Saturday. You can listen to some of the radio interviews with the stable, and he seems to be going pretty well. But the main thing is, before Saturday, is how good he is. Let's have a look at his last start, Group 1 Champion Stakes. It doesn't take a really good form analyst to realise that Australian weight for age 2,000 metre form is about Group 3 level. Don't throw stones at me in the street for saying that. We breed sprinters in Australia, and our 2,000 metre horses aren't quite as good. He's on pace here. He's beating quality horses like Magical into third. He's a fantastic on-pace horse, and the wet ground plays right into his favour, Stu.
All right, well, look at this. Ascot, Mike, we were only there a couple of years ago for your Bucks party. What a day that was. We saw one of the great mares of the world that day, but it would have been good to see a horse like this.
We saw Enable, who beat Magical by a similar margin, so it lines up pretty well, doesn't it, Stu?
It does. Well, let's have a look now let's call it the local contingent, of course, from the Chipping Norton here. Very elegant. What a win this was. Colette. Well, let's just hit the big stage now. And, of course, Master of Wine in this race, Mike. Very elegant. We know the battle they staged last year. Has she come on? She gets her favoured wet track. How good is she?
Well, she's very, very good. People are saying she's better this preparation. I don't see much in the data to suggest she is. But she's retained one quality, which she absolutely fights like a tiger. She's a small, tough fighter in the race guy. That's her profile. She was very, very strong this day. Obviously, Colette wasn't far away on a soft track as well. And Master of Wine, pretty surprising. Sweated up a bit in the yard. He'll love 2,000 metres on a wet track too.
Okay, yeah, look at the way she just sticks her neck out there. That is one of her amazing qualities.
Very brave horse.
And we might be seeing that again this weekend. So what a race to start things off. Let's have a look at all the key factors now to help you try and find a winner early in the day for the Randwick Stakes. And we saw a replay there, Mike. This horse is all class.
All class. Adabe is the best 2,000 metre wet track horse just about in the world.
And look, only a couple of lengths back there to Very Elegant, and absolutely streets on the rest of the field here. So we've got 2 favourites right in the market. Track distance conditions, can that help us?
What a race of mudlarks. They all love it.
They all love it. There you go. The Key Factors has just lit up there for that one. What about the speed map?
Well, it's not a great barrier, I don't think, for Very Elegant. Back on the inside, she can over race. We know that about her. Colette can drop into a nice spot near pace. But Adabe settles outside the leader or leads and will be very, very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, looks to get in a very, very strong position there, Adabe. And well, what about progression? Can any of these catch up to the favourite?
What's the question mark next to Adabe? How is he going in Australia? The gallops are very slow on television. You can't really tell how he's going. Master of Wine could improve. He was pretty good in the Queen Elizabeth when they met last time.
Okay, so no gold there for the favourite, but he was way out in front to start things, and he remained there in front of Very Elegant. Gee, you've done all the form here, Michael. I can already see that this horse is one of the best in the world, and he's here on our home track. So let's have a look now to see where we're going to play in the day, because, as you said, we've got to figure out how this horse has come on. Has he done well since he's arriving? We'll see in the yard. $2.10. Is that a price we can take?
Oh, he's a wet track warrior in the race guy. That's his profile. He gets on pace. He fights hard. He's so reliable. All his recent runs are pretty good, and every single wet track run he's had recently simply wins this race on Saturday. If he's fit, if he's well, unfortunately, it's too good for us.
Okay, so it's a day there for us to kick things off in the Ranver. Hopefully a great clash with Very Elegant. That's what we're going to hope to see on the track this weekend, which brings us to race number 5 now, the Rosehill Guineas. This is an intriguing race over the 2,000 metres. Group 1, and of course the favourite, as it was last week, Moonga, $3. No luck in behind Lions Roar in the Randwick Guineas. Out in trip now should suit both of those horses. Montefilia on the next line. Got home well fresh in the surround. 1,400 metres out to the 2,000. Grand Slam, an interesting runner here since the nominations opened again. $7.50. Jamaica's little brother just trotted in at the Valley in the Alistair Clark last start. Out to Skylab at $11. Deserves a crack at this preparation. And of course, Wheelhouse, $12. Strong off the wide run in the Randwick Guineas. And one we don't see there, Mike, $201. Kobe Star, my brother Jono, he's got a Group 1 runner, mate.
We mentioned that last week. We're very, very jealous. We'll see how he goes. Interesting placement from the stable. Let's have a look at the Randwick Guineas lead-up race. Lions Roar got the nice trail out wide and clear running room, and he got the win. Last time he met Mwanga, Mwanga flogged him though, and this day Mwanga had absolutely no luck. He's a horse that lacks a turn of foot, and back on the inside is a terrible spot for a horse like that. He's held up to about the 200 metres, and just when he's warming up, Tommy Berry juggles the whip. Off heels at the 100 metres, smashes the line, should be unbeaten in Sydney.
Yeah, what a run it was. And well, look, draws 6 this week, Mike, so I can't see it just getting boxed away on the rail in case that does happen.
Yeah, a big track. The tempo will be on this Saturday, 2,000 metres, plenty of time to get off the rails.
Okay, let's have a look now at our New Zealand Raider. Why? Because they're also important lead-ups. The Avondale Guineas in New Zealand Derby, the same path as Jimmy Choo, Volkstock and Barrel, Ginger Nuts. That's good.
Well, Kiwis can stay, can't they? Maybe there's some questions on the Randwick Guineas form, and if there is, this Kiwi Milford can definitely do something. You watch through his runs, he's got plenty of talent, but he's a bit green. He crabs around the right-hand turn just a little bit, and just when you think he's going nowhere, he stays on again. He's got the same breeding as the favourite Moanga, Savabille by an O'Reilly mare. And maybe if the local horses are going to compete with these imports over 2,000 metres, it's going to be the Kiwi breed that saves us.
Yeah, all right, so it's Rocket Spade, of course, getting the job done there in New Zealand, Mike, but different level over here. Let's have a look now to see where we're going to go. Rosehill Guineas, what a race it is. Moonga, there it is, mate.
Moanga probably should have won. Definitely should have won. Light him up.
Okay, there for the form. Who can catch up? Track distance and conditions.
Annabelle Neesham's excited about 2,000 metres, and so will me. We were a bit worried about a bottomless track last week, but it should be okay this Saturday.
Okay, so a lot of love for the favourite there as it goes out in front. Lions Roar sticking its head out there into second though. The speed map here, any problems?
Well, just a little bit for Lions Roar. Drawn wide compared to the favourite's a risk for him. Grand Slam gets to the lead, which gives him his chance.
Okay, all right, so we're getting through here, and Moonga's just gone further in front here, Mike. Progression out to the 2,000.
Well, been targeted to this Group 1. Soane's Lions Roar, Montefilia with upside second up. They're the main ones for us.
Okay, so the favourite streets ahead there. A whole line in there running on for second, including Lions Roar, Montefilia, Grand Slam, a whole host of them. But this is one-way traffic throughout all of the key factors here, Mike. $3 might be looking like a bet here. I hope some of the punters have taken the early price because they just can't stop it here on key factors, Mike. And when we light them up like that, we've got to be on.
Yeah, the horses have power, acceleration or stamina or late surge, and this guy apparently does absolutely nothing at track work. He only gets going the last 100 metres in track work. He comes to Barry trials, he does nothing. 1,400 metres, doesn't do much. He's never been to 2,000 metres before, and I think he'll just smash him. We'll get to the outside, he'll surge late and he'll win by 3 lengths. The Kiwi a cover bet just in case that form line lines up.
Okay, interesting. So Moonga there for us. Hopefully coming down the outside to a nice easy win there at the $3 in the blinkers. Easy money. That's 2 down from key factors. Stick around after the break. Plenty more coming your way, including the big golden slipper. Well, welcome Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au, and the Group 1s just keep rolling on. We are up to race 6 now. It is the George Ryder. Interesting renewal of this race with Avilius, the favourite, at $4. Well, where did that run come from last start? I remember him bolting in the Ramvet, the Tancred double here only a couple of years ago in the mud. He doesn't always just get the mud here this week. It is drying out. Funstar on the second line, $5. Was brave on the inside and the Chipping Norton. Always around some of the best horses this prep. Very Elegant, Colding, Colette and Mugatu. There's Colding there, $6. The drier the better for this horse. Dreamforce, probably the same can be said about that. $9.50 stepping up in trip after his resumption in the Canterbury Stakes. Star of the Seas, a new arrival here into this field at $10. Won the Blamey before a good run in the All-Star Mile. Gets back to his home track. And of course, Dawn Passage, $10. A tough on pace as it showed. It can handle a wet too in the Golden Eagle. But a few of these have had some nice clashes of late, Mike.
Yeah, we know them. They've got similar form around each other. We can look at last start, Chipping Norton, see just how they line up. A couple of very, very good rides here. I think it was Glenn Boss on Funstar, Nash on Avilius. Perfect rides. Gave them both every chance. Avilius trailed Very Elegant. Got the outside and dashed like he does. He tends to dash, but he can just peak that last 100 metres, which is why we thought last week 1,500 metres on a heavy track would suit him.
Yeah, so it has changed a bit. And Mike, I guess you look at a race like this, the Chipping Norton, you think this is where all the main form line's coming from, so a lot of punters could go this way.
Yeah, the market's gone that way, but they're all very, very short. They take a big percentage, and Colette has since been beaten out of that race, so look a bit short for me.
Okay, so you've got to have a look at that form. And of course, we've got to look wider. So let's have a look at the Canterbury Stakes Group 1. And well, Mizzy, Mike, it just didn't give up this day. It was right there till the end. Dreamforce resuming. We've got Dawn Passage there as well. And of course, Summit out after the long break.
What price would Funstar be if Funstar did what Mizzy did the last 2 starts? Was 250? 270, Stu?
Yeah, okay.
What is going on with this poor man? I mean, she failed first up on a soft track. But next start, she almost sinks Savatiana. Then she goes to Coolmore off a strong tempo, hits the lead 250, 300 metres out and still fights on for second. She's flying, and if she handles the conditions and she's well, she almost wins. Yeah,
okay, that horse is absolutely flying, as you said. Let's see if that can equate to some gold throughout our key factors, Mike. And well, as we have a look here, there it is. Mizzy, you've given her the gold for
flying
form.
handicap, Group 1 form. She just gets it over that other Group 1 form, I think.
Okay, all right. So the other Group 1 form has got a little bit to make up, but there they are. They're all there together. Let's see if they end up together. Track distance and conditions.
If it was a rock hard track, I'd love Mizzy, but some of these other horses like it. Avilius, the heavier the better. As it dries, it's riskier for him. Okay,
of course, we liked it last week in the heavier conditions. Drying out a little bit here. What about the speed map? Funstar on the inside?
Yeah, I think it's good for her because she can trail the lead and kick up the inside. That's fine. And Juniper's drawn a nice spot too.
Okay, so Funstar levels up with Avilius here, but there's a couple at value down the page. Progression.
Yeah, John Thompson's got plenty up the sleeve for Dreamforce. He could do something. Dawn Passage second up improves. And Gem Song is flying this prep, could have more to give.
Okay, so progression tells me a few of those at odds could sneak their way into the places here, Mike. But Avilius and Funstar, well, they're on top. We know those horses, as you said. We've got such a good grounding on those. It's some of that form line outside of that we probably need to be having a look at in this race, which we've just done through those replays and all the form here, Mike. Look, there's nothing clear-cut standing out, of course. All that's very elegant form up the top, but Star of the Seas has been south, and there's Mizzy.
Yeah, there's Mizzy right. There's a bracket of sort of 6, 7 horses maybe that are right in the mix. Dreamforce, you could put him there if he gets a soft 6, maybe or better, because we know he loves this race and he gets on pace and he fights hard. And Avilius, I know he's top rated, but he's gone from almost a moral to a big no bet for me, even though he's top rated.
Okay,
just the speed map's so risky for him. He gets back, such a bad spot. Star of the Seas, Mizzy, right on top or near the top. They both love the 1,500 metres of Rosehill too.
All right, so a little bit of value there for us with Star of the Seas and Mizzy in race number 6, which takes us to the world's richest race for 2-year-olds. It is the Golden Slipper. What a scamper it is going to be. And it's Profiteer, $3.60 and well supported throughout betting the favourite. The Capitalist Colt lost his unbeaten record in the Todman to Animo. And wow, $3.60 is what the punters have to decide on here, Mike. Stay inside on the next line, $4.60. The Extreme Choice Colt had no luck in behind them a couple of weeks ago. Big winner at Randwick in the Piero, the start prior in soft conditions, importantly. 4 moves ahead, $5.50, 2 from 2 for the Schnitzel filly, the Sweet Embrace winner. Out to Artorias at $9.50. The Flying Artie Colt came from a long way back to win the Blue Diamond. The form stacked up with Animo winning the Todman as well. So, and there's Ingratiating coming through that as well, Mike. So these These three, they've pretty much been at the top of the betting for the last few weeks, but a few moves this week.
There's been so many hours of media on this race. We're going to go as quick as we can. This is the lead up. We looked at it last week. Profiteer was a kind of an experiment holding him up because he raced a bit keenly and he did fight on pretty well for second. Maybe they'll just let him run this Saturday. Animo, very, very strong, but from the wide barrier, will he get as much luck? Home Affairs, I don't think the wet track suits. And Stay Inside, I know he was held up, but just that last 100 metres at the odds, I wanted to see a little bit more, Stu.
Yeah, it was such a great race to look at, isn't it? And of course, I mean, Animo, it's a horse that, again, seems underrated by the market.
Very, very good horse. Yeah, I agree. Underrated by the market. Risky from the barrier, but could do something.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the Sweet Embrace, one of the other traditional lead-ups here, Mike. And, well, 4 Moves Ahead has done nothing wrong in its couple of starts. It wins the race here. A few are specking Mallory. Can it turn the tables? That's what we've got to look at here.
I think Mallory's a lovely filly, but I think she's got none. She was back off the strong tempo that day running on. 4 Moves Ahead rode that strong tempo, hit the lead so far out, which is such a hard thing to do. And the fact that she hung on means it was probably a dominant win for us. She's unbeaten. She loves wet. She probably would have been close to favourite if it was bottomless, and maybe she's just a peg back on a softish track.
Okay, and that is what we're going to get on the weekend, hopefully back to those nice soft conditions for the Golden Slipper. So let's have a look now at the key factors. It's Golden Slipper time. Interesting to see if they sort of stay like they were last week here, Mike, or a few differences.
We're playing speed map, and it's a slightly better track. Let's have a look. Profiteer, Artorias, Animo. You can see they're all racing well.
Okay, so there it is, gold for 3 of those runners as we hit track distance and conditions.
Stay Inside, 4 Moves Ahead. I think pretty good on a soft track, and Animo bred to like it too.
Okay, there is Animo just going ahead, but look at all these favourites. They are lining up. They are all in this race. It is open. The map, 1200.
Yeah, big questions on some of them. Profiteer, I like on a sticky, drying Rosehill track. A loose leader. Stay Inside tracking him. Ooh, they look good on the map. They look good on the map, don't they, Stu?
Yeah, they do. The map horses have all got gold. They are at the top of the betting for that reason. And, well, progression, Mike. So many trainers just say the horses have loved the extra week.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, right? Look at Mick Price's interviews. If you believe what he's saying, maybe he's convinced us to give the favourite a go, but
he's very good to listen to, and he is very convincing as well. Looks like it's convinced us with the favourite there, Profiteer, getting gold late in the piece and winning the slipper by a length from the second favourite, Stay Inside. But we know it's not going to be as clean cut as that, with the 2-year-olds getting through the conditions this weekend for potentially the first time. And, well, there it is, Mike. Profiteer on top, Stay Inside second, 4 Moves Ahead. So, look, love for all the favourites here with Animo. We're not expecting a boil over this year.
We're not expecting a boil over, and the markets have been up for so long, and so many people smarter than us have looked at these markets and had a bet. So we've ended up with the favourite after all this time. 2 weeks of analysis, the favourite for us, loose leader, rolling along, going to have every chance. Animo, very risky from the barrier, but if you get some luck, he beat the favourite last start.
All right, always happy to cheer a favourite home, especially if it can quicken there to the line. 1,200 metres for the slipper, which leaves us with another feature sprint race for the day. Race number 8, it is the Group 1 Galaxy, and it is Taylor on top in the betting, $4.60. It started favourite in all her 8 starts. This is the biggest price, though, down in the weight, where we know this horse loves the wet. Hawkbury on her, $5 resuming. This is a classy horse, some nice trials. 5th in the Everett last year, just missed G-Tra after. Eduardo, $6.50, beat Nature Strip in the challenge. We know this horse likes it wet. And Wild Ruler, $7. Unknown over the 1100 in the testing conditions, but it is going well based off its fresh run a couple of weeks ago. And then out to Dirty Work, $12, freshened off her Oakley Plate run when blocked, not far from the line. But Talia and Mike, it's one for the punters. It's won a few races. It always starts favourite.
It's never come worse than second, I think. She's rock solid, she's reliable, but this is a whole different level. Let's have a look at a couple of seriously world-class sprinters. Eduardo changed stables a couple of preps ago, had a pretty good prep last prep in, but this time he walked into the yard, he was big, he was strong, he was shining, he was well looked, every bit as good as Nature Strip, and he sunk one of the best sprinters in the world that day, Stu.
Yeah, well, there you go. You just mentioned it. World's best sprinters. We've got some classy animals here. Eduardo is one of them, and oh, I don't know what to think this day, Mike. It was always going to lift, and it did that well.
And very good sprinters behind, putting a margin over 1,000 metres when they're going in such a strong tempo is a hard thing to do. I think he's come back flying.
Yeah, a lot of talking points out of that race, but Eduardo was the victor. Well, let's have a look here, Mike. We're going back to Hawkbury on her, and of course, Eduardo lines up again, but we've got the second favourite in Hawkbury on her, fresh on the weekend.
Fresh on the weekend, big, powerful, strong. Never already tried 1,100 metres. But maybe as the Waller stable edged up to 1,400 metres, they realise she's more of a sprinting type. She's big, she's strong, she's muscular, And once again, world-class form lines. This is Guitra. Eduardo maybe not quite on his best over 1,300 metres. And she almost got away with it, Stu.
Yeah, very interesting point. And of course, on the rail that day, it's going to be off there, and it's 7, I think, this week, so probably won't be in that position.
Drawn in a great spot just to blend in and come wider, which should be the pattern on Saturday.
Yeah, looks like a nice spot for Hortbury on her. Let's have a look now to get this last race of ours started in terms of the key factors. We're looking for the gold here in the Galaxy, Mike. All the sprinters, good luck.
We'll light them up for form, and when they walk into the yard, you'll see why.
Okay, Talia with a few lengths to make up the favourite here, but as you said, you've got that world-class form on top with Eduardo and Hortbury on her. Track distance and conditions.
Plenty of wet trackers, but I think Dirty Work and Jonker are a risk, and Wild Ruler maybe a tiny bit of risk as well, but we've lit him up anyway.
Yeah, true. Interesting to see how he's going to get through it. Of course, the speed map here.
3 favourites, draw controlling spots, barrier 3 and just outside. Very, very hard to beat.
Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, gold, gold, gold for the favourites there. And of course, progression here, Mike. We've got fresh horses and we've got a few that have been up for a while.
Yeah, the young horses, maybe Talia and Wild Ruler, got more upside than the older horses, but the older horses are very, very good.
Okay, well, there is Eduardo just sticking its head out late to win the race there from Talia. Hortbury on her, so the market's got this one pretty right. Out to Wild Ruler, and look at that, Splintex right down the bottom, but it hasn't got the same barrier this week, has it?
No, that was the one we mentioned at the top of the show. Very good colt, but the wide barrier, not sure.
Well, let's see, we're going to go for a bet here in the Galaxy. The market looks as though it's been right a few times this night. We've agreed with it, but Eduardo on top here, Mike Talia. It's always going to be around the mark. Hortbury on her. We've seen these replays. Nothing's jumping out of the pack here either.
That's the trifecta. Eduardo, Talia, Hortbury on her. You can back it straight out for the 5th Group 1. Choose between those 3. One of them will win. Eduardo, the weight's a bit of a concern, but he draws the inside, he goes forward, and he's going to be right in the finish on Saturday.
All right, so we're into Eduardo again as we were the other week, only a few weeks ago. All right, well, that wraps up 5 big races on Golden Slipper Day. A great card of racing. Plenty more after the break, all the other races, and of course our $100 hot seat. Well, welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au, where we have got your Golden Slipper Day covered. We've just had a look at all the big Group 1s on the day. What a day of racing it's going to be. The track's drying out, the sun's going to be out. We're going to be there. It's going to be a great day. But, Mike, we've only looked at the Group 1s. What a card of racing. Plenty more tips.
A much better prospect this Saturday. Much more excited. You can get much more excited about it, can't you?
I love it.
The track should play fair. It shouldn't be too heavy. And the winners are across this page. Isotope first up. She's such a good sprinter at 480. Dedu's Dart, wet track on pace in the finish each way. She's ideal. Just wins if she gets luck. A Dave, the best 2,000 metre wet track horse in the world, wins. Mwanga, the best 2,000 metre 3-year-old in Australia. Star of the Seas at odds each way. Profiteer leading all the way. Eduardo on pace. And Wonderbar down the outside to finish off, Stu.
All right, some nice claims there. World's best, Australia's best, certain distances. I love it.
It's the data, mate. It's the data. It says it.
All right. Well, one thing the key factors have shown me tonight is the market. We're in agreement with the market on a lot of these. So, $100 hot seat. How are we going to make some cash this weekend with our $100? So many punters just going there, maybe with $100 to play with. How are they going to do it?
I'm sad that I haven't found any big 20 or 30 to 1 shots again 2 weeks in a row, but I guess it was the same card 2 weeks in a row. A Dave just wins if he's well at 210. Mwanga flies home, surges home, wins by 3. You can back them both at an all-up too.
Well, I didn't think you liked the price last week of Mwanga, but it looks as though $3 you like this week, so happy with that.
I wasn't going to take 270 racing through a lake, Stu, put it that way.
Yeah, very good point. All right, well, it's going to be a great day of racing. Head to the raceguide.com.au for all your feature profiling this weekend. Golden Slipper Day. Get out there, enjoy it, and hope you have a big win.
Have a great weekend.
From the mess to the masses.